everybody. Welcome back. This is episode 11.
Ooh, season 1, baby. Episode 11.
We were in the double digits last time, but now it's like a big number because it's past 10. Go us. But welcome back to Opria's Open.
You're going to love
mic.
it. You're going to love it soon.
One day, maybe.
Opria's Open Mic, baby.
So we are
With
here.
you is Sean Opria and my wife, Erin Opria.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Sean. We are here to talk all things dogs. Now, we are by far no experts on this topic. We have a lot of dogs.
We've had a lot of good dogs, so we kind of are experts.
Untrained experts, maybe. Experts in our own house. That's what I'd say.
All right, can you name all the dogs that we've had?
We've had a lot.
What was our first dog?
Zoe.
She was a German Shepherd. She was like a red German Shepherd.
But that was the saddest situation.
She was sad.
Anybody's
own dogs knows.
She was the best dog. She was so well behaved, and
she was the OG.
Yeah, like all of our dogs have learned from her. But we were playing ball on a Sunday morning before we went to a soccer tournament, and I went to pick up my coffee, and it was like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and nobody's out on a Sunday morning. We lived on a cul-de-sac, like 2 houses away. And some reason, I threw the ball. We were playing ball to wear him out before we left for the soccer tournament. And the mail lady came flying through there and hit her. And that killed her. It was the worst day, all my fault. And I still struggle with that because it is my fault. Because I didn't look.
It was a fluke accident.
But fluke accident. So we had Zoe.
And
Stella.
Stella was a black lab who was also running. She got clipped by that car too that same day. Yeah,
she did. She was with Zoe.
Yeah.
So actually, Stella came from Carrie Underwood.
Yep.
Because she ran actually, she was on her way home from Oklahoma, I think. And that's
from the shelter, I think.
From the shelter in Oklahoma. And she asked if we could take Stella. And we took Stella, black lab.
Yeah. We were like, no, we're good for the moment. And Stella got rehomed, but there were 2 doctors.
That didn't have the time.
They did not have the time. That poor girl had to be put up for like a whole day at a time when the doctors finally got home. And so we're like, hey, we got this.
Yeah, we went and got her.
So Zoe and Stella were the 2. And then we got
Ghost. Ghost also came. Wait.
No, we got
Cooper. Cooper was next.
Cooper was a Christmas present. So Santa brought Cooper.
Yep, Cooper was, and Cooper
he was
a lot of questions about
Greater
Cooper.
Swiss Mountain Dog, and he's still around.
And that is actually a question. Can we get an update on Cooper? Cooper is doing a fantastic, living out his retirement days with my mom. Spoiled, rotten. He turned 11 this week. We sent him a birthday present, his favorite toy. But people will say, I can't believe you give away your older dog. That's actually not what happened. We didn't give him away because he was older. We gave him away because he had such bad anxiety with the other dogs that for his own health benefit and for him, he needed to be an only dog. Because as he got older, he just was like freak out. And so he's living his best life, spoiled rotten. It's good for my mom. It's good for him. And so that's where Cooper is. All right, next dog. We got Ghost, which was a white German Shepherd, absolutely stunning. That one actually came from Carrie Underwood's shelter, too, in Oklahoma. She brought him home to us.
Sad story
with
Holy
that dog.
Cow.
You can go ahead and tell that one.
Yeah, thanks. So the best we can tell, this is what happened. Had a very tough upbringing, Ghosted. He was a white German Shepherd. And what I assume happened, right, based on all the things, that whoever got this puppy wanted a white German Shepherd. And they got a puppy, and they got it in as a puppy. It just pooped and peed in the house, and they got really mad at it when it did that. And so the dog learned that pooping and peeing was really bad. So it would never do it around people. Even if it pooped, it would eat it right away. Like it was trying to hide the fact that it pooped, which did not help its gut at all. And we found out later he also had he did not have enough gut biome, and he had too much colon bacteria. And so it was basically a combo that made him have almost constant food poisoning, basically. It wasn't that, but it was basically like having food poisoning. So he was a tough dog. He
sweet as pie.
Sweet as pie. All he wanted to do was eat and sleep. He would poop when you wouldn't look. When you weren't looking, you'd go on a 2-hour walk if you wanted to, and then you'd leave him alone for like 5 minutes, and he'd poop. But then he gets super excited for food, and then he just run back to his bed and lay down.
But he did come around. It just took him. It took him a long time.
I have some videos of him playing.
Yeah,
for
he
big
was,
days.
and then he ended up fitting into the group, and he's passed away since. But he lived his best life, and the best life that we could give him because he wasn't the healthiest of dogs. He was.
And then now you're coming around to the current dogs. So
then we got Beckett. Beckett was during 2020. We wanted
Beckett was supposed to be Cooper's younger brother.
Yes, we thought it would keep Cooper younger. Didn't work.
Another Greater Swiss Mountain Dog.
Yes, and then we got.
But Cooper is we loved Cooper, loved him, but he has always been an a-hole. He hated everybody but his family.
Everybody.
And including that puppy.
And he hated a box if it was on the ground or a jacket if it was on the back of it.
Oh, he hated backpacks and jackets and people and doors and puppies and
everything. But we loved him. And then we got,
So now at that point, Cooper went to live alone. Beckett is now with us.
No, at that point, we just had Cooper and Beckett, which was great. We didn't plan on getting any more. Hayden moved to Arizona.
Dog story of ours.
So this is how it worked. Hayden moved to Arizona, and he's like, I really want a dog while I live out here because he's playing soccer out there. So he moved there, had that dog, and then...
He was their best friend, right? Like, he didn't have any friends out there. He moved out there alone, and it was literally like not a service animal, but like an emotional support animal.
Support. Yeah. And so he had Kobe, who I was obsessed with.
German Shepherd.
Yeah, that's our German Shepherd. And then he ended up moving back to Nashville, and then he went overseas to play soccer. And we ended up getting him there, and Kobe just needed to be with the pack. So that's how that happened. So that's how Kobe ended up with us. And then Riley, someone DM'd me and said, oh my gosh, there's this German Shepherd that needs a foster home. Can you take it? And so I drove over there. I was like, of course.
And I said, no.
I said, of course I'll foster this dog.
Over and over. No to fostering, no to Riley, no to this whole thing. This is enough. Enough's enough.
Well, we got Riley.
Because I knew that she wasn't going nowhere.
It was a foster fail, and she is a gift. And then
she was a cute little German Shepherd. And
Shepherd,
she
Husky,
just
Pomeranian.
didn't get any bigger.
So we did a DNA test on her. So she ended up being like 50% Shepherd, 35% Husky, and then 15% Pomeranian. So that's why she's small. But her Husky comes out. She talks like, she's so funny. She loves it. She howls when she barks. She doesn't bark, she howls. It's so cute. And then Shaq was Hayden's dog, and how Shaq came about. So we used to watch him during the day, and then he'd go home at night. And then Hayden moved into the house with Hunter, and he was gone playing soccer a lot, and he just wasn't behaving. And so we sent him to training, but he needed Riley like you wouldn't believe. Riley and him were like this. And so we sent Riley to training with him just to be a partner so he would have somebody there for support. He did decent, but then Hayden didn't do the training he needed to do when he came home. So I feel like it's not a waste because we've been able to catch it back up. But then he started dating this girl in May, and that girl, psycho,
hated Shaq.
And so he said, well, I can't keep Shaq, which, whatever. But for the best, Shaq is with us, and he is thriving.
At that point, it was, okay, if you're going to choose the girlfriend over the dog for this moment.
Together.
They're not together anymore. But then Shaq's ours.
Yeah.
And he is.
And you know what? It actually is for the best because Shaq is thriving.
You might see him chilling, and I don't know if you always know this, but he's always in here with us.
Every time we record.
And he comes in here, he tries to sit in my seat. I have to kick him out, and then he just falls asleep there and farts the whole time. He's already ripped one today. Thank God there's not smell-o-vision on podcasts.
That would be funny. All right, so let's get to, so that's our story of all of our dogs. So we had never planned to have more than 2. We have 4. That was actually a question.
That was our plan. We had a plan. We talked about it. We hugged on it. We kissed on it. We high-fived on it.
And then
you ruined my life.
You're so dramatic, you little fool. All right, so the question is, do I enjoy the 4 as much as you don't enjoy the 4, basically? So Sean is dramatic about it. He loves these dogs. We treat the dogs like freaking gold. Now, we're strict with them. I am obsessed. I don't know if obsessed is the right word.
Obsessed is the right word.
Yeah, okay, I'm obsessed. My world revolves around the dogs. We make sure that they have, at the morning time, 4 a.m., ball time. And then they have lick pad time at 10. Oh, they have breakfast after
It's
ball
5
time.
a.m. I don't know if you've looked at the watch. It's
5 a.m. is lunch, breakfast. And then they have lick pad time at 10. And then they have lunch at 12. Oh, water time, lunch. And then they have, Shacky has playtime with Lainey. And then they have dinner because we don't play after dinner. And so a lot of questions about why do we feed them 3 times a day?
All right. It started out as matching the 3 times a day that we've had with puppies, right?
We've had puppies for a long time.
We've had puppies for a long time. And so you feed puppies more often. And we didn't want to feed a dog and then the other was just be staring at them, howling, waiting for their food. So we just fed them all 3 times a day. And then it turned into that slows them down, right? So instead of giving them, say, one giant bowl of food, because they're big dogs, it spreads it out. Also, we were really worried about bloat.
Bloat it scares me all the time.
In case you don't know what bloat is, oftentimes it happens after you eat. And it's basically like you filled a sock with like some heavy things and you twist it around, that weight within the sock is going to tighten and make everything super, super tight, right? So bloat happens when a dog probably has a lot of food in their stomach and they go out and play and tumble or do something like that. And they say they jump around and their stomach flips, which cinches the ends of the stomach on either end. Nothing can come down through the throat. They can't drink water and nothing can come out the other end. And the gases expand, their stomachs get super tight and they die within hours. And it's quick. Awful.
Actually, do you guys know Brittany Kelly? She just went through this with one of her German Shepherds. It's a scary, scary thing. It kills them quick. To most dogs, they do pass away. Her dog miraculously lived. Thank the Lord. Brittany Kelly is a dear friend of mine, and we talk about dog stuff all the time. They have 4 German Shepherds. But so it is a common thing in German Shepherds. It's also common. It's a very common in Great Danes. So
that big deep-chested animals.
Finney is Hunter's dog. We had his stomach tacked, so we didn't have to worry about it. In hindsight, if I could go back when all these dogs got neutered or neutered, I would have had all 3 are boys, and only Riley's a girl. I would have had all their stomachs tacked.
There's a connection right at the stomach where it can't.
They can tack, and I would have done that back then, but I didn't. So now our goal is have playtime before they eat, let them cool down for a minute, and then after they eat, the goal is nap time. So it's like all 3 meals is nap time after you eat.
But so there's not as much food in the stomach. That's why we do 3 times a day. Mm-hmm. They can't eat all of their food as fast, right? So we used to have slow feeder bowls. We've actually removed that just because, they're feeding 3 times a day. And that's how that happened. Right. Some people don't have time for that, and we get it, but we happen to have that.
Our jobs are in, out. One of us is rotating in, one of us rotating out. So our jobs are back, forth. So that's how we're able to do it. So it's not for everybody. I obviously realize that. Lick pad recipe. So lick pad recipe isn't much.
Hold on. Lick pad. You've mentioned it twice.
Okay. Lick pad it's really good for dogs. Like, what would you call it?
So it's a silicone mat with little rubber bits in it, right? Where the food can get stuck in that silicone mat. So they can't, unless your dog really wants to just chew the whole silicone thing, you put the food in there and freeze it, and she'll tell you what she puts in it. And then that licking motion.
Oh, it's good for their sensories. That's what I was trying to think of.
It's great for their senses. Like I hate when dogs lick me, so I'm always popping their mouth, but some of that is
only
good
Riley
for them.
does that.
Good for them and good for their brain.
So yeah, Riley's obsessed with it. So actually, they all are, except for Kobe.
I can't stand
Kobe
licking.
Kobe doesn't lick, but he doesn't like the lick pad very much either. So my main thing is Greek yogurt and pumpkin, and then I'll pour a little dog bone broth on there.
You put peanut butter on there.
And then some days I do peanut butter, and then sometimes I do peanut butter pumpkin.
Not pumpkin pie filling.
Yeah, not the sugar one.
Just pumpkin.
Pureed pumpkin. So it's good for their gut. Yogurt's good for their gut. It's got the probiotics, all that good stuff.
You used to put blueberries in.
Sometimes, but Kobe and Riley take them and throw them out.
So we've also heard that mushrooms are really good. And so I'll crush up some big mushrooms and put them in there, and we'll mix it in. We rehydrate the dry food a little bit with some water, and so I'll mix it all in there. Kobe and Riley will suck all the food off that touches it, and then
spit it out.
All that's left in the bottom of their bowl. They found all the mushrooms, which honestly, I can relate because mushrooms suck.
I think mushrooms are the best vegetable ever.
Well, you know what? I'm sure they're good for you. And I keep trying them. I'm never going to be that guy that's like,
so good.
Oh, yeah, I don't need anything green. No, I keep trying them, and they're awful.
Delicious. But there was actually questions about what are we feeding them. So we went through this huge scare with Kobe. We were told that they thought it was cancer. Once we went through the more testing after we had done several testings, it turns out it's not cancer. Do we really know what it is? He lost massive weight, like to the point that his hip bones were out.
He felt so bad.
He felt terrible. All of his spine, everything. And so we went through testing after testing after testing. And did we get to the bottom of it? No. But there was something I thought it was. He tested negative for it. And I said, well,
yeah, it's basically a
digestive problem. I said, if it's not that, if he takes some medicine, will it hurt him? And they said, no, it won't hurt him. It will either do something or nothing. It won't hurt him. And I said, okay, well, then we're going to give this a shot because my gut tells me, everything tells me that this is what it is. And with
it
that,
did everything.
With consistency on that, all 3 meals, we put a scoop of this powder in there.
It's a powder that you get wet, and it helps digest the food. It helps
start breaking the food down before he starts eating because he's not able to fully digest it himself. And so he does that, and then his poop is absolutely perfect. We put on
the amount of poop talk that happens in this house. What color was his poop? Was his poop solid? Was it like, could you pick it up? Was there residue left? Every single day. It's about color, size, and residue of poop.
You know what? Poop in humans and poop in dogs tells you a lot about your health.
We have sent pictures of our poop to each other.
Wait, does not every couple do that? You guys don't send
Do you remember early on I was so proud of one?
Yeah, and you sent me a picture like, Erin, you have to see this.
I don't know how we're still married.
We did that with dogs, so we've done it with dogs too.
Oh, yeah. Check out this poop.
He's
doing so great.
But yeah, so Kobe is doing better.
Actually, do you know what? So when we got ghosts, and sorry to interrupt because I'm still on poop, he was having such problems. Right, with his digestion, okay? And he finally was kind of getting into a rhythm. And I took a picture of a good pile of poop, and I sent it to Carrie Underwood.
We're like, yeah.
She never replied.
Well, I mean, we were proud that he was finally getting healthy.
I was excited, man. I was really excited for him. He was turning a corner. He was gaining weight.
So actually, her mom that ran.
I'm sure she loved it.
Her mom and her ran a dog thing in rescue center in Oklahoma. We stayed in contact with their mom for all the meds and stuff for ghosts. They were amazing. Yeah, great people. So what were we just talking about? I don't know.
I interrupted you like normal. Don't get on to me, internet.
I totally forget the topic you were on. Oh my gosh.
We were coming off of poop.
Lost it. Well, there we go.
Ask me a question. Ask me anything. I know everything about dogs.
No, you don't. All right. A lot of questions about Shaki. And he's with us.
How do I rank my dogs? That's, I'm sure, somebody's question.
All right. Why do we have Shaki full time?
Did you want me to rank them?
Halloween toys, where do we get them? So actually, here's one. This one's the best. Actually, these are all from TJ Maxx. If you guys don't go like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, hear how loud this is. This is a great toy. They love it. It's got a squeaker in it too. And there's no fuzz. So when they break them down, there's no fuzz, which is amazing. And then these tough toys you get from... So
again, that no fuzz thing is amazing. Don't get me wrong. Our dogs love
So we do occasionally the fuzz.
But these really flat toys from PetSmart are amazing.
They're tougher.
They're super tougher. They're hard to tear them apart, and our dogs tear apart everything. This guy's been around for a while. They pretty much have no stuffing, which is perfect.
But they got a squeaker.
They got a squeaker in there.
Shaki didn't even react.
Not a single thing.
He's out. He sleeps in here. So
did anybody see that?
He's like, oh. So those are the toys. If you guys ever go to TJ Maxx or or Marshall's, the toys are super affordable there.
So I found some of those like Nylabone types things, right? Where they're like pre-made bones. They are great. And my if you're ever looking for it, the key for me is ones with curves. If they sit flat on the ground, the dogs don't like them as much. You get those ones with the Y, but it's like curved and bent and it's all kind of coming off the ground. Anything with a curve that does not sit flat, they love them 10 times more. Personal experience.
Do we hire a trainer for the dogs? No, we do not hire trainers.
No, we just drive ourselves crazy from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m.
They don't have trainers. The only one that's been to training is Shaq. I mean, I guess Riley went, but Riley didn't go for training. She went to support Shaq. So Shaqy went to 4 weeks of boarding training. Would I say he did amazing? I say the trainer is amazing, so I don't put anything on the trainer. Shaqy is hard because if he doesn't like you, or want to like you, or he doesn't like most people, he's not going to listen. He just, he's just so.
A couple of our friends have gotten nipped in the butt.
Yeah, we have to be super careful with him because he does have an aggression. Now it's getting better, but Kobe was that way too. And over time, Kobe's completely different.
If you ever end up staying at our Airbnb, which we are building next door, we do have a Wi-Fi code. And the password is my dog's bite 365.
That's funny. But no, now are we safe because nobody's going to mess with? Absolutely. Do I worry about walking downtown at dark by myself? Not in the least bit, because as long as I have them, I don't have to worry about a thing. But so he did go to training.
And he did good.
He did good in the last couple weeks. The first 2 weeks were hard. He really struggled mentally. But no, he had Riley, so he only listened when Riley was out.
If the trainer needed the dog to do anything, he just asked Riley to do it. Riley would do it immediately, and then Shaq would just follow her. Yeah,
but it's continued. I feel like the biggest thing you can say is consistency.
That has been the key to us raising the dogs, almost from the beginning, is the pack.
They learn from each other.
When I tell you that Zoe, when we were talking about her earlier, was the one everybody learned from, she was a great dog. We didn't get her as a puppy. We got her at like 2 or 3 years old. She learned. She was smart. She did everything good. The next dog learned all of the behaviors from her. That dog taught the next dog, taught the next dog, taught the next dog. And suddenly we have a pack of dogs that are pretty darn good.
Each one has their own little quirks. They have totally different personalities. There's slightly different ways to train each one of them. So they've all been trained.
I hate each of them in different ways.
You're such a jerk. And I mean, they're completely different personalities. But when we talk about training, what I can preach the most, it's about consistency.
Yes.
Your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, everyone has to be on the same page and everyone has to do it consistently. If the dog learns that they can get away with something, they will do it.
You are in charge of that household.
And they have to know you are alpha. They are not alpha.
It's okay for them to know that they're not in charge, that it is your house.
I mean, you can love on your dogs, which I over snuggle probably. You can snuggle with them. You can do that. But when I say something, they have to know I am alpha. They are not alpha, and they will listen. And you
don't want dad coming in and barking.
But as soon as you let them get away with that with you, but then say dad is meaner, they're never going to listen to you. So that's not okay. You make them. They don't sit, force them to sit. They will start learning to sit. If you're consistent. If you give them a couple leadways like, oh, we didn't sit this time outside because we're playing. No, that's not okay.
It's patience and consistency.
Like when we go outside to play, we'll call one, not for any reason than to work on training. Like when they're playing zoomies out in the front and we want Kobe to come. Kobe, come. I don't care if you're running, playing. You have to learn. That recall. And if he doesn't do it, we go get him, drag him to where we were standing, and make him sit while everyone else plays and then let him go play. Not for like a minute, not even that long, just a couple seconds to where he knows, and then we tell him to go play. And so that consistency in doing it day in, day out, day in, day out. And then you don't have to do it quite as often, but you still have to refresh their memories.
Who do you think listens the best?
Kobe.
Kobe, for sure. Who do you think listens the least?
He's a pleaser.
Oh, he is.
Beckett.
Probably Beckett.
Beckett is a stubborn mofo. He's a good
dopey dog, but like
he's stubborn.
Oof. Yeah.
So he's on. Oh wait, let's just finish. Oh yeah, He's the biggest boy.
He's
about
110, 120.
Yeah, in that range. So training. Shaq, we are working on not being so mean when people outside the house, like I can let him out. He's not going to bite anybody. He's not going to attack anybody. He's not going to run at anybody.
In the house.
In the house, he's insanely protective. Like, this is his place. Don't come in here. I don't care who you are. You might have come in here every day the last week. He's still going to act like he's going to eat you. And he will nip. Like, that's the thing. If you know your dog's that way, then don't just let people in. Like, I had a friend come over the other day, and he just opened the door to come in. I was like, don't come in. He's going to bite you. I promise he will bite. Do not come in. Do not come in. And he freaked out. But he will. Like, I know my dog enough. Nobody just walks in our house. So we have an automatic lock so it doesn't ever happen. I don't know how. I must have just come in the door. It takes like 5 seconds.
Neil has access.
Oh, Neil has access. There you go. I was like, how did he even do that?
Because he's our friend.
There you go. He learned not to do that, though, right now. But yeah, so that's Shacky, and we will get better because we went through the same thing with Kobe. Kobe was terrible for a while, so he's doing better. So consistency. And do we train them one at a time? Not really. They're all trained in a pack because they're really not one on a time.
They
anyways.
don't very often get one on one time, but we try and sprinkle one.
We do sprinkle. We sprinkle it out there.
Riley's my girl, when I go to the storage unit.
What beds do we get for the dogs? We get them so the top is from Amazon. They're all from Amazon.
Yeah.
So the top of the beds is this white thing that we throw on top, and then they have.
Oh my God! Way to explain that.
It's a white.
Right, so
you gotta go quicker.
You start on the top, and it's a white thing. They are plush upon plush. The base is a plastic elevated bed from Amazon. Get it on Erin's Amazon.
Oh yeah, Amazon page has everything. Everything that we're gonna.
And then on top of that is a dog bed, like a cheap, thin dog bed. And on top of that is a black blanket, so it matches our decor. But there's usually 2 to make it comfy. And then on top of that is this big, thick, white, fuzzy dog bed from Costco.
Do we brush the dog's teeth? So their teeth get brushed every time they get groomed. Every 3 weeks, their teeth are brushed. So no, I don't brush them on a daily basis. Shacky's got some pearly whites, man. Those things are shiny, shiny. All right. What do we feed our dogs? So the feeding schedule is we do the kibble we do is very little now, is from Costco. They do get it 3 times a day, but they get small amounts of kibble. And the key with kibble that I'm learning is that it cannot be dry. You really need to let it get wet and soften up. It helps the dog's digestive system. So we changed all their food after Kobe's scare, and so we've been trying new things.
A little bit more raw.
So we
still get the kibble. The kibble, roughly about a cup goes into each.
Not Riley.
Yeah.
But then in the morning they get kibble, a raw egg, and then a little bit of beef. Very little bit of beef. Lunch is kibble and sardines. I do 2 cans of sardines and split them up between the 4 of them, and then a little bit of beef. And then dinner is steak and their kibble. And then each one of their meals, they get the bone broth. The bone broth is good for their... So this helps hydrate it. Yeah, it helps hydrate. It's also good collagen.
Bone broth, and it's specifically for dogs.
It's on my Amazon page, but this one is safe for dogs. It doesn't have the garlic and the onions and the MSG, which is really important.
Nice.
So that is their food. And then how old are each dogs? So the oldest one
is Beckett.
Beckett is 3. Kobe is 3.
Beckett's about to turn 4.
Not until February.
Is it February?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm in.
No, he's not. And then Riley is 2 and Shacky is 1. So we have 4 dogs under the age of 4. Under the age of 3 and under. And then we have 2 grandpuppies, which is Hanky and Finny, and they come over. So we have 6 dogs, and they're all...
They might come over this weekend. I didn't tell you.
That's good.
Anyway.
I love that day. Put the pool out and playtime. Fill it full of balls and water. It's going to be fun.
I'm going to go to Oktoberfest.
I love to have camp at my house. That's what I'm doing.
I'm going to go with a neighbor.
That's
and I'm
fine.
leaving this house.
Perfect.
And all 6 dogs with you.
Perfect.
And I'm going to drink beer. Healthy beer.
Granny's house is the best. So Finny's 3 and Hank is 1. Almost 1. We don't really know exactly. So that is the dogs. They get a lot of cookies. What's the ingredients? They actually don't get a lot of cookies. They get them like once, maybe 2 times a week.
Yeah, we have really cool cookies that we love showing off, but we cut them back during Kobe's scare because we were worried about the food he was eating.
Food.
But the ingredients, we don't make the cookies, but we get them from dog stores. Right? Yeah. So it's, No, lastly, what else you got over there for the dogs?
How do you train your dogs from peeing in the house when you're gone? Oh, that was a big question. Do we crate our dogs? No, none of them are crate. Do they destroy stuff when we're gone? Thank the Lord they do not. No, they don't anymore. When we first got Shacky living with us for a little time, he can't, as much as I would love to crate him, we cannot get him to crate.
He destroys metal crates.
He breaks out of metal crates. His whole face will be bloody. He doesn't care as long as he gets out. And he'll ejectile poop out of the back, like ejectile, and scratch up his face and get out. And we've gone through crates, and it just didn't work out. So we had to
blocked the stairs.
Yeah, we block the stairs. The dogs are only allowed on the bottom floor. And we close all shades. We black it out. We turn up the TV, and we darken it. And they usually just go to sleep. We watch them on cameras, and they usually just sleep when we're gone.
Yeah. And I think the most important thing is the mantra, tired dogs are good dogs.
Yeah, if it was like early and we hadn't played, it would be terrible. So the thing is, you have to wear them out. You have tired dogs. So like if we're going to go out at night, if we don't feed them before we go, it's bad because Shaq and Beckett know exactly when it's food time and they're obsessed and they will not settle down if they don't get their food at the time it's supposed to be. So that doesn't work. We always make sure we exercise and then we feed them and then let them poop and then it's good nighttime. And that's perfect for going out.
I made a mistake.
How do you?
I got ice. I'm not allowed to chew it.
That was stupid.
I love chewing ice.
Do not chew it on there.
I did it on accident.
It's a sound that makes me want to punch him. I cannot stand that. Drives me up the wall. Sean, that's so rude. Do not get your mic near that. Holy cow. Nobody else wants to listen to that. All right. How do you train your dogs from peeing in the house when you're gone? I mean,
got rid of all the rugs.
That's why we have no rugs. Like if there's an accident, the world doesn't end, but they just don't do that anymore. They don't have accidents in the house. Yeah. There's occasionally, like this morning, Beckett threw up.
Kobe had to go to the bathroom at 4 a.m.
And tried to wake you.
He came and booped me. And I said, my alarm goes off in 15 minutes. Go to bed. And that 15 minutes, he broke out of our master bedroom. He went downstairs and pooped on the first floor, which Beckett, who sleeps downstairs, immediately ate it. And when I got up, I had to clean it. And then Beckett proceeded to puke half-digested poop all over the first floor.
So it's easier for us just to not have any rugs.
I love dogs.
Don't let him fool you. He actually does love them. Recall, how do you do it? You make them. I mean, how do you train recall? Practice a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of early on me chasing them down.
Yeah, when they didn't listen,
because they'll know. We'll do that one-on-one, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's like come and I gently grab their neck and I pull them, and once they're in front of me, I sit them down and I just go, good boy, and then you do that over and over again until when in a calm environment they come to you, and then you start doing things when it's not calm. And like you said, when you break them off when they're playing, you ask them to come to you, and when they look up, they notice and they hear and they don't do anything. I chase them down, and I do not let them win. And then I take them and I drag them back to where I was originally standing, make them sit. And once they finally do that, then I say, good boy.
And then all the snuggles come in. Why do some dogs sleep downstairs and others sleep upstairs? Do we have favorites? That's it. It has nothing to do with
favorites.
I mean, my two favorites. Oh, that's so hard. Beckett's not my favorite. But
it's so hard, but this one sucks.
Beckett can annoy the fire. I mean, I love them all, so it's not like I don't like Beckett. But if he's my least favorite, but not that I don't love him. So that sounds assholish, but that's not the answer. I love all of them. Beckett chooses to sleep downstairs. Those beds are his favorite. Riley used to choose to sleep downstairs, but then decided one day she wanted to sleep in the baby bed in our room. We have like Kobe's baby bed. And so she wanted to sleep in that. So now all three sleep in our room, and Beckett loves to be downstairs.
We don't quite trust Shaq to be left downstairs alone, and he would rather be up there with us.
Yes, he wants to.
I would trust Riley downstairs, would trust Kobe downstairs, and Beckett, obviously. I don't trust Shaq, but it's never really been a problem.
So another question, this is the last question, and we're over on time, is what do we think about having a Belgium? So I want to actually talk about this. A Belgium is something I've been obsessed with watching, and I loved them so much, but I said I will never have that breed. They not scare me. I just was like, I don't know if I could actually train a Belgian because you just hear horror stories.
Maligators.
Oh my God, they're going to destroy your house. And I begged my son. He showed me pictures. He's like, I want one. I begged him. I was like, let's just get a different breed. Don't do that because I don't think you have the time to put into it, blah, 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 blah. Well, 2 days later, he had that dog. And so, well, you can't change it. So I was secretly kind of excited, but also I was like, we can't do this. Like reality said, I was like, oh my God. But I think they're pretty much like, there's some differences.
They're a high energy dog.
They're like shepherds. I mean, a little bit more than shepherds. They can jump like you wouldn't believe, but I feel like we get it out of him during his water time. I mean, he jumps higher than me 500 times. And I feel like because of that, he could jump over the fence, but he has no desire because he gets his energy and that crazy, because they can be very spastic and he just doesn't have that because
he's got the pack.
I think we have very structured run times, but then he has nonstop playtime. He's not kennelled, so he has nonstop playtime. So he doesn't really have that crazy built up energy because he always has an outlet for it. That's Riley. And then he has play dates with Lainey, which is his best friend. Lainey and him are the cutest together. He's so calm with Lainey. They're the exact same age, like a week difference, and they've played together since the day both of them came to the house. And so they have their own playtime in the front yard by themselves, which is awesome. But I actually
tired dogs are good dogs,
I actually
don't
have any issues with having a Malinois, except for right now the biting. But
they're not for everybody.
They're not for everybody.
If you think in any way that you just want to be nice to them and you don't want to discipline or enforce your rule,
house.
You are in trouble.
Yeah. So I think they're amazing. Definitely not for everybody. I would have never picked it, but I'm actually super happy I have him. It's taken a little while. We've had him for 4 months now, and he has.
It's 9 days from day one.
Yeah, from day. So I think in another 3 or 4 months, he's going to be a completely different dog. So in the last 4 months, he's changed a ton. And I think once we
get to 5 years, finally.
No. Yeah, I mean, now he snuggles with me and he loves me and he follows me if I'm in the shower. He follows me everywhere I go now. And so he's becoming attached, which is good. But also that makes him more protective the more attached they are.
Good luck.
But I love
you. Do you?
I love them. So this is a wrap. I actually think we need to have a part 2 because there's so much dog stuff we could talk about. But if you guys are looking for all of our favorites, like how to keep your house from smelling, I had that link on my Amazon page where you can go buy all of our stuff. My link is in my bio on Instagram. But it has all of our dog beds, dog blankets, stuff to clean our turf, you name it. The smelly stuff, which is amazing.
We
get it.
About any of the smells.
Yeah, that keeps our house from stinking. The blower to keep your house from having a million dog hairs. And you say, why blower? Well, we'll talk about it in the next episode.
Episode.
You guys are awesome. Thanks for coming to hang out with us today. We went over, and I do apologize, but I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you leave some comments for us. Let us know some future questions you might have in the next dog episode.
Thank you so much for your questions.
Some things that you guys have been struggling with your dog. I want to hear. Dogs are my favorite conversation, probably. Dogs and design, whether it be design clothes or design houses. So fun. Well, I can talk health and nutrition too, but whatever. Hey, right, you guys are awesome. See ya. Oh, that hurts PRP.